We can record it?
Yep.
Okay. Let's take a breath. Why don't we wait just a second with all the chairs? Because that's we're good problem to have. We need more chairs.
Right.
So just give us a couple of seconds to do that.
Hey, Ray.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. Looks like that's Lakeisha on the phone.
These are people in the living room? Yeah.
Yeah, wherever they are.
Some are on the phone,
Some
some
are
are
on
on
the
the
phone,
computer, opposite.
Okay, let's take that breath now. Truly, we are here for such a time as this. It is no accident. And I say thank you for being here. In every sense of the word. Here in these individual incarnations. Here collectively in this room. Here is part of this spiritual community. Here is part of this great global transformational movement. Part of this evolutionary moment in history. Thank you. Thank you. So we come here with eyes wide open. Natural eye and third eye. We come here with open hearts and we come here with open mind. We come here in the spirit of oneness to do everything that we need to do. Personally, institutionally, systemically, whatever that is, it needs to be set into motion to bring forth the beloved community. For this purpose, we are here. So I know that everything that transpires here happens effortlessly and easily. It is good. Anything that needs to be said is said. Anything that needs to be understood is understood. We accept it all and lovingly allow it to be. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen. We always like to start with gratitude, with vision, with an understanding of the spiritual authority upon which we stand. Anything and everything that grounds us and makes us rooted. So why is that important? Why don't we just like jump in and start talking every time? Why is that so? This is a quiz.
We need to set the groundwork. We need to set the foundation for our gathering.
Why? Why do we need a foundation?
Well, to be grounded, like you said, to set an intent, to all be in the same container of space and energy together.
Mm-hmm. True. What's its? It's like, what is its benefit? What do we have if we're grounded and have a foundation that we wouldn't have? What does it? What does it bring to bear?
Well, hey, to take a stand, you need to know what you're standing on. Otherwise, it's just going to be a blow-over, right?
Yes.
And so I need to know what you are taking a stand for, so I can take a stand for you. And you are not blow-over.
Yes.
I'm from the mountains. You're always over where you're standing.
Yes. Yes. This is good. Do you want somebody to help since Nate's
No,
not
I'm
here?
good.
Okay. Yes. Yes. You have to know where you stand because you have to be rooted in something or you're blown over by everything. Yes. Yes. Why is it important to have a vision? What does vision do? Somebody on Zoom, why, or telephone? Why do we start with vision?
Ika?
That's how you know where you're going,
Mhm.
where you yourself are going. There's like the big vision,
Mhm.
and then there's the one that pertains to you yourself. So that you can choose from all the various things that there are that are possible, so you're sure you're going in the direction you intend to go.
Okay, that's good. Why else do we need to start with vision? Is that for you yourself?
Yeah. There I am. So for me, it's always important to restate my vision or have my vision fresh in my mind because it's the and for me. So when people, coming up in opposition with an idea, it's like, instead of necessarily having to argue against them, my vision is my and this is possible. This is what I believe is possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And your vision is bigger than you. Okay? Your vision, in some respects, is not even about you. Okay? Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is created out of consciousness. So when you put a vision out in the world, you are putting something out into the ethers that is there to be resonated with. Listen to what I'm saying. You're building something. We're creating something in consciousness. Your thoughts are not private. Listen to what I just said.
Yeah.
Your thoughts are not private. Everything is energy. So where your thoughts are, where your attention is a vision.
Yes.
Listen to what I just said. Where your thoughts are, your conversations, where your attention is, creates a vision. Are you creating a vision that you actually want to see manifest? Or are you creating a vision that is the projection of the status quo or the very things that you don't want to see? What do you do with your power? What do you do with your energy? Are you envisioning what you want? Are you envisioning the highest? Are you envisioning the possible? Are you calling yourself up to a higher vibration? Pain pushes until vision pulls. Pain pushes until vision pulls. So I know that there's angst on everybody's heart. I know that people are going through grief. People are going through all kind of stuff. But this particular forum is not the forum to process your grief. Come tonight. Jeffrey over here, okay, he's your man, okay? So your grief, your frustration, all the rest of that, take it to him.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Same place.
Okay? And it's like wherever you are. I see Lakeisha's on the line. They're holding it down in Oakland at the East Bay Church of Religious Science. Go there. It's like wherever you are, go someplace where you can be with some people to process that, but that's not here. Okay? We are talking about vision. We're talking about something else. Okay? Why do you need gratitude? Knowing where you stand, a vision of what's possible, and gratitude. And let me just say one more thing about this vision. Is that energetically, it pulls you up. It sets you on a certain course. And it provides an attraction for other people who are in alignment with that to join you. So when we put the vision out there, we are creating a synergistic effect. Your vision is essentially a demand. We do live in a world of supply and demand. This is true. That's not just an economic theory. We know that if there's enough focus on something or people want something enough, somehow it's going to be supplied. We already know that. We don't even have to know like where it's going to come from, but we know when there's enough demand, for example, for absolute clean energy, that's what we're going to have. When we know that there's really a demand for justice, that's when we'll have it. Listen to what I'm saying. The fact that we don't have certain things is most often the sign of the lack of demand.
Right.
The lack of the intensity of the demand. Too often we think it's the lack of the supply, that it hasn't happened yet. But the reason why it happened yet is that the intention, the will, the determination, the absolute vision, and the sense of possibility of it is not firmly rooted enough that that's the dominant paradigm, that that's the dominant vibration. So we're wishing, we're hoping, we're envisioning, but we're not standing in the deep intent. It's not an intent until no is not an answer. That's when you know that you're standing in intent, where no is not an answer. Period. Period. And you say, well, aren't there some times when it's just no? No. It can't always manifest a certain kind of way. But if there's a deep intent, it's always going to manifest somehow. And that includes, quote unquote, life and death. There's only life, different forms of life. And if you really, really, really want to be fully alive, sometimes that may mean letting go of this body temple in order to experience that even more aliveness. You don't always get to choose the forms in which it comes. It's kind of like having children. You don't know what they're going to turn out to be. You can have all your ideas or whatnot. Your vision shouldn't be so much on the very specifics of what they're going to do, but the vision of their possibility, that they're healthy, that they're whole, that they're actualized, that they find careers and partners that, you know, suit who they are and make their great contributions to the world. It's that kind of vision that's big enough to set the parameters of spiritual qualities that you want to see, but then you let the universe put in the specifics of what it needs to look like. Otherwise, you play it too small. So why is gratitude important? Yes, Ade, we are recording so you can listen again. We always record. Why is gratitude important? A couple of people over here.
It keeps me present. It keeps me present, in the present. It keeps me here and now. It keeps me on purpose, on my purpose, on my vision. And boy, have I got one.
Good. Good, good, good. Why else is gratitude important?
Gratitude for me is like supply. And the general has a vision, knows the territory, stands. Gratitude is the supply of it, because it tells you what you got and acknowledges it so you can move on and go on.
Yeah, Catherine? Yeah, we should say our names
It's
too.
like, believe it and you'll see it. If you give thanks for it, it enhances the energy of your vision to manifest.
Yes. Kaylee?
So my name is Kaylee. Gratitude is an energy, just like vision.
Yes.
And it pulls you up, and you start looking for miracles, and you find miracles. You start looking for what's working, you see what's working, and it changes the whole vibration, not only of me, it changes the vibration of the universe.
Yes. Yes.
It's expansiveness, like the vision is. It helps you get unstuck.
Yes.
Where vision and not being gratitude are kind of constrictive. Gratitude is expansive and opening.
Yes, exactly. Gratitude allows you to feel connected. Gratitude allows you to see what you otherwise would have missed. Okay. So in that vein, it allows things to multiply because it shifts you from the lack and limitation consciousness, where you can start to see what is available. You know, we do prison outreach work. And when we first started, we worked a lot with the Muslim American Society. We used to supply them with their Qurans and with their subscriptions to their journals. We would underwrite their holiday events and buy the bean pies or like whatever it was that was necessary. You know, we were always there. Now, mind you, we started in May of 2000, right before 9/11. You can imagine what this was like for us to be going into the prisons. They're supporting the Muslims. The Imam Michael Salam, who was the chaplain there, whom I love very, very dearly, is from my same background. He's raised in the same Pentecostal denomination. He's from Tennessee. What I find is most of these African-American Muslims, they're not from the Nation of Islam, but they're with the Muslim American Society. Almost all of them are people who had done time themselves and it got converted sometime, you know, in prison. And he said this to the guys once. He said, a lack of gratitude is the first sign of an unbeliever.
Yes. Yes.
A lack of gratitude is the first sign of an unbeliever. And I've really paid attention to that in my life because the more I get into that lack of gratitude, the less I'm believing.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so this is just a little regrounding. And I was doing this particularly because I see so many new people with us. Ordinarily, we go around and usually do at least one of those. What are you grateful for? What is your vision? What is it that you stand upon in order to do this particular work? And as we're moving forward here, I want everybody to remember this, because this is something you need. Try this at home. You know, this needs to be part of your daily life and part of your daily practice. And I would even encourage you, when you're having all these conversations and discussions with people about, you know, what should we do and, you know, what's next, and what, before you just start jumping in there about what you saw on Facebook or, you know, what was going on there in the news, just stop for a moment. Just stop for a moment and reground yourself, and it will make a tremendous difference. You know, I guarantee you.
Rafe said, oops, sorry. Okay. I like that. Rafe.
I'm about to open it up now for questions or comments.
He's gratitude. He says his level of gratitude directly informs me about my level of conviction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it says, I'm grateful for what I can trust and believe beyond my five senses radar.
Yes. You know, from a mathematical standpoint, there's that idea of things being directly related, which means that they move in the same direction. Okay, so as one goes up, the other goes up. And then there is what they call the indirect relationship, where it's the inverse, where one goes up, the other goes down. Gratitude, conviction, gratitude, belief, they are directly related.
Yes.
They go up together. And whenever you have the situation where one goes down, the other has to go down with it. When one goes down, they both go down. Okay? Joy and sorrow would be indirectly related, in the sense that when one goes up, the other goes down. So your joy goes up, your sorrow goes down. Your sorrow goes up, your joy goes down. Those are going to be indirectly related because they're on what we call a continuum, like different points along one expression. So we're moving from sorrow into joy. Joy and sorrow are not different things. It's just not enough of it. So when we talk about all of the spiritual qualities that we have, we're having to go deep into them. We're not, the joy that we're looking for, the peace that we're looking for, the courage, the strength, and all that, it's within us. It's within us. And if we're not feeling it, the answer is not that it's outside. If we're low in trust right now, or we're low in courage, or we are low in strength, the answer is not out there. The answer is inside. We have to pump up something in us to counter that, so we don't keep going low. So if you're low in something, that means that there's some spiritual quality that's not expressing itself enough. Okay. I want to be very specific here. This angst, this energy that so many people are feeling since the election, it's a re-traumatization. Listen to what I'm saying. That whatever your thing is, whatever your particular way of being afraid is, it becomes like salt in the wound. So now is the time to really start doing some deep inner work, as well as trying to change things socially. You hear us say all the time that the only thing that needs to be healed is just a sense of separation. Just a sense of separation. So what does this moment make you feel separate from? Does it make you feel separate from safety? Separate from progress or growth? Separate from possibility? Separate from a sense of oneness? Separate from trust? Like all these different things we might be feeling separate from. But if you don't do your inner work, if you don't take a look at what is this bringing up in me, and here's the way you figure it out. You close your eyes and ask yourself, when have I felt this before? And go back as far in your mind as you can possibly go as to when you first started feeling that. This is true for any relationship or conflictual situation that you find yourself in. Part of the angst about it is that sense of, oh my God, I'm going through this again. This wasn't supposed to happen again. I was never supposed to feel this again. I thought that I had built my life up with it. Society had changed. Or, ooh, this isn't supposed to be happening. Oh. Okay. But as long as we're in, oh, this isn't supposed to be happening. Who's doing this to me? And how can I stop them from doing this to me? We're still in it. Okay. So yes, there's stuff we got to do. politically and all the rest of that, but I really want you to hear me. To say we're all getting tweaked and you can't heal what you don't feel. So take this moment now to stop projecting off on who's making me feel something. And what is this that I feel? Why is it a wound in the first place?
I just had a question because I want to make sure I've got this right.
I'm going to open it up now.
So this traumatization, so bringing this up from the past, it's something that can be totally personal.
Oh, completely.
Separate from any of this.
Absolutely
Okay.
personal.
All right.
That's what it is. Is
Because
what
I
I'm
got-
saying.
I
It's
got
your
this,
little
like,
baggage.
Sense of doom or powerlessness. And that kind of like took me like right back to right before I got clean.
Yes.
Like, what? I have no control over what's going to happen when I walk out the front door.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Just want to make sure it was that personal.
Yeah. No. Profoundly. But this is what I'm saying, that it is profoundly personal.
Okay.
Profoundly personal. Okay. You've got to do your own work. So what too many of us do is we get on the triangle, that victim, villain, hero triangle. And instead of doing our own work, I'm out there trying to put on the white hat and knock out all the dragons or kill all the bad guys rather than do my work. And it's just displaced energy. It's like, we got to do our own work. Okay, questions now. Muna?
Hello, everyone. It's Muna. Rev D, I have a short story. I don't have a question with regards to what you said. Shall I share it now?
Go for it.
I had a few days ago a tense situation and conversation with a family member exactly around what you're saying. Briefly, he's sending out texts and emails full of anger and hatred and rallying against the president-elect. So I decided to tell him that I completely understand and I feel what's going on. I personally choose to focus on the change and the strategies and the tactics and what could we do right now rather than drowning myself and exhausting myself in this vortex of continuous hatred and anger that doesn't serve me, and it drains my energy and lowers my vibration, as you said, and it doesn't serve my mission. So he did not like it because he thought I am not allowing him to express himself, and I clarified that. So we agreed to disagree about that, and the tension is still going on.
Yes, definitely. Any questions about what I'm saying now, or comments that people want to make? On let's do Zoom people first. Zoom or telephone. Press star.
If you're on the telephone, you press *6 to unmute yourself. *6.
Okay, or Zoom folks? Anybody? Before I turn it over to my in-house folks? Okay, in-house. Yes, on some of the people that haven't spoken up yet.
I tell you folks that the people online who said they can't hear us, you have to speak with the volume that Reverend Deborah does in every row back. It has to be even louder for our friends online to be able to hear us.
Yeah.
Anybody in the room?
Yes.
I was going to say
So
something.
tell us your name.
Selma, I want to first thanks for this class, Reverend Deborah. I had on the election day, I was on a cruise.
with 15 of my classmates. We celebrated our 50th anniversary. So my roommate and I, she didn't want to listen to the news. That's okay. But our next roommate, which is my, we all grew up together, he would listen to the news. Says, Emma, I said, let's get out of here. I said, you gotta calm down. So they're from Mississippi, all of them. I said, we gotta calm down now. Just cool it. I said, President-elect, we gotta accept this. I said, but you gotta just keep it on. I said, let's go. It was 2:09. I was looking at it when Mrs. Clinton had 2:09 and Mr. President-elect had 2:44. I took a breath. I said, thank God for the class I had with Rev Deborah. Thank you guys. You don't know how much it meant to me to sit up and talk to the people and say, calm down. It's going to be okay. Let's breathe. And that time I said, let's go. We're going dancing. Yeah, yeah. So they said, what? I said, let's get dressed. Let's get out. We're going dancing. We're going to have us a good time tonight. So we did. We went out dancing. They said, you seem to be with. I said, well, it's something my class had prepared me for. The unexpected.
Yeah.
And I said, we just got to breathe and take it as it is and say what we can do to help everybody to get calm and be loving for each other. And the next day, this poor lady that wanted to help her there, she was from Mexico, and she was one of the ship. She was literally crying. I had to go over, and little she was shaking. She was so afraid. She was shaking. I just hugged her. I said, it's going to be okay. And I said, everything's going to be okay. Just breathe. And one of the guys said, did you know? I said, no. I said, she needed some comfort. and this what this class have taught me to get. It was just incredible. I'm comforting everybody, including all my Mississippi folks that's about to die. And I'm saying it's going to be okay. Let us come down out of this. We can go through this. It's going to be just get out. Let's start reminiscing, saying hi, how you doing? And it did. The whole thing we all just mellowed out and went dancing.
Yes. Yeah. So Linda, back there?
It took me a while, a few weeks to get to this point, but I started seeing it almost right away, which is in every situation, there's always an opportunity for it. And Selma just talked about something that was very personal, but it's also, it gives us the opportunity to envision even greater.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Reverend Deborah, I'd like to thank you too. I've heard you say a lot of wonderful things that have changed my life, but lately it's you believe in oneness or you don't. And I've seen so many people talk about oneness as a principle, and out of the other side of their mouth is coming this crap. And it's part of what turns me off. I sound so judgmental, but it seems hypocritical to me. And either you do or you don't. And oneness means every single solitary person on the planet.
Right.
And once one person is not included, I am othering. And you're holding us to this new standard of practicality, not principle. Sometimes I'm sick of principle. I want practical.
Yes.
I really admire, and I hope you continue to say it from the pulpit.
Oh, I will.
Please, because it's a new challenge. It's radical.
Yes,
Radical.
And what I encourage you to do is frame it not so much as hypocrisy, which it may be sometimes, but in terms of framing and messaging as incongruence or inconsistency. And that people can hear a lot better.
That's better.
And they also will hear it better if you're vulnerable and model it first. So instead of pointing out to them their hypocrisy, to say, you know what, I've been talking about oneness, but when I really look at the stuff I've been passing around on Facebook, or, you know, the memes or the stuff, you know what? I haven't really been living up to my truest values. And I am now calling myself up. See? And that's all I'm doing here now, is that I'm calling myself up to a higher level of accountability. Now, I know everybody can't do it. Everybody doesn't want to do it. That's why I'm having a forum like this, which says for those people who are bold enough to go there, like, go with me. But what I am no longer doing is kind of playing to the lowest denominator.
Yes.
I'm not trying to make it safe anymore for people in the room that may not be as theologically advanced or whatever, trying to bring them on. I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm setting the bar higher, and it's attracting like a lot of new people. And it's okay to just be wherever you are. I was having lunch after church with some people, and they were saying, you know, well, how can I do this? And how can I do this about the oneness stuff? And I said, you know what? It's not your job to do. Your job is just stand where you are, and who can you engage in the dialogue who already agrees with you. Okay, your job right now, that idea of change and how change works, it starts with the critical mass in the center, and then it spreads out. It spreads out. So you engage what we call the low-hanging fruit. Who needs to be in this conversation so that we get the synergies? You know, who's close by? You know, a relative, a coworker, a neighbor. Who can we have these conversations with? I said, your job may be just that right now. I said, the heavy lifting, leave it to the vets. Leave it to the vets. Leave it to those of us who are trained in this massive cross-cultural stuff and whatnot. Everybody doesn't need to be doing that. So too often people feel impotent because they don't know how to do the stuff that's beyond their reach. Don't worry about the stuff that's beyond your reach. Do the stuff you can do. Just tell a vision, have some gratitude, and express the authority upon which you stand. Can you imagine if people started actually expressing some gratitude for the nation right now? Or even some gratitude for this election? And I know that makes people crazy, but I knew that night. I knew that night. I said to myself, oh my God, this is answered prayer.
Yeah.
I thought about how many times I have wondered what in the world was it going to take us to get off our apathetic asses and start engaging in, like, waking up and smelling the coffee and what it is that's going on. Because here's the nature of change. Whether it's political, whether it's in your own personal life, anytime you were going in a certain direction, everything unlike it has to come up to be healed. Listen to what I just said. Whenever you're going in a certain direction, everything unlike it has to come up to be healed. So it gives you this impression like I'm going the wrong direction. I want to work with my finances, and instead of getting richer, I feel like I'm getting poor. I want to be unconditionally loving, and instead of me living in bliss, I'm working out all my conflicts. I want to be this, but it seems to be it's part of the process. Are you with me?
Yes.
It's part of the process. That inverse relationship. I want to get over here. If I'm going to have more joy, I got to get rid of my sorrow. So there are so many of us that have been putting the demand out for this oneness, the demand out for the transformation. This is the backlash. It has to happen. Like all the crud, all the stuff from the sewer, all of the stuff that's been sitting there and smoldering has to come up into the light to be healed. We just don't need to go down in the sewer.
Yeah, that's right.
We just don't need to go down in there. We make the mistake and think that progress is linear. Nothing is linear. Everything cycles. Everything spirals back. So here's what the experience that I had election night. Election night, I'm teaching at Agape in Los Angeles. I'm with my ministerial students, right? So I go home to my room, my bedroom, okay, that still has the wallpaper I put on it when I was 16. My room had been pink from 10 to 16. And part of my deal to stay in Los Angeles, because I graduated at 16 from high school, to stay in LA and go to USC like everybody else, was I got to make my room blue. 1972 blue. It is the wildest configurations of blues. And do you know that stuff hasn't buckled? It hasn't wrinkled. It hasn't peeled. It hasn't even yellowed. It is still there. So energetically, I go back. And I had that same feeling everybody else. It was like, oh, shit. This was back, that was the 15-year-old me. Scared, panicked, the religious right. This was when gay was still illegal. I mean, it was like where the mountain was so high. And it felt like the rug had just been pulled out from under me. It's like, oh my God, how could this happen? I'm just like panicking in some inside level, even knowing this is some answered prayer. And I know everybody has their own version of that, okay? So I'm just being honest. I had to go back and remind myself, girl, you are 60. You ain't 16. Right. Remember all the progress that you have done up to now. The world has changed. This is just one more river to cross. And we're never going to get to the promised land unless we clean all this stuff up.
Right. That's right.
So whine, cry, do whatever you got to do. Roll up your sleeves and get ready for the next round. Don't squander your energy being afraid. Stand on what you know. But I gotta admit, like everybody else, it just, but I've done enough training to know that's what healing does. Nothing's in a straight line. It's like a spiral. So you keep coming back and you keep coming back to the same issues. But here's what happens with this spiral. I've never described it like this before, so I hope this makes sense. When I was talking about the inverse relationships, how some things go up and other things go down, that when you're coming back to these same issues, you're getting higher and higher and higher, and all that crud that's down below that's needing to be excavated is getting lower and lower and lower so it can be healed. So that it can be healed. But it is purposeful, and we are here for such a time as this. So this may make you nuts, but there's nothing wrong. It may not be the highest and the best possible, but in terms of pure consciousness, there's always the direct out picturing of whatever it is that's happening internally. So this external manifestation is not wrong because it matches the vibration that caused it. See? Too many times in our lives when we were upset with where we are, I shouldn't be here. This shouldn't be happening. Yes, it's happening because of a reason. Even the tragedies. It may not be because we wanted it, but it's the result of somebody's consciousness somewhere. Okay. A direct result. And then we say, but is this what I want? Is this the highest and this is the best? And what is it that needs to be changed from here? How do I set a new causation into motion? And if we do not come to this now with a new purity of heart, we will do this same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You go from a Bush to Clinton, to a Bush, to Obama, to a Trump, where it's just this ping pong. 8 years, back and forth. The left, the right, the left, the right. Because we're just busy trying to win. This little narrow margin in like beatdown. It's time to stop. It's time for this crap to stop. To reimagine America back to the beginning. We're here because this is what the foundation looks like. And it's time for us to speak a vision of a new foundation. A foundation that works for everybody. And we can do it, but if we're too busy being tweaked, we can't do it. We can't do it. Are you willing to do your own work right now? What hurts? What are you so afraid of? And deal with that. I'm not saying that's the only thing that you deal with, but if you were not dealing with that simultaneously, nothing's going to happen. You don't look happy.
No, I'm good. We spent too much time together. Yeah.
The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from Nate to everybody. Say it again.
I confess that I've been distant from my many relatives in the Deep South who are really into the isms. As a transgender person, I didn't want to face the rejection. I also got tired of the bigotry. But my cousin reached out to me and we've been communicating. Yesterday, she warned me not to contact my uncle, that he is judging everyone and that he would just upset me. He knows I changed my name. I've decided to write to him and tell him that I love him no matter what. He matters to me and I need to act on oneness.
Nate, do you want to speak? Do you want to say anything? Is that a yes?
I think he's trying to
Unmute?
I'll unmute you. There,
That was
Nate.
very brave.
Yes.
Very brave to put out there, Nate.
Thank you.
We can hear you now.
Do you want to say more?
No, at first I wasn't going to contact him. I thought I don't need that, but maybe he needs me. You never know. And the thing is, I do love him, and I love him no matter what he says. So
Way to go.
I need to let him know that.
Yes, exactly. Don't stop loving the people that you fear aren't going to love you. Don't stop loving the people that you fear aren't going to love you, because then that's just less love in the world. And we don't need less love. And just like, this is your cousin, you said?
His uncle.
That you've been in contact
Yeah.
with. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been saying all along here, they're bridge people.
Yeah.
Don't just lump everybody together. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the low-hanging fruit. So now your cousin is part of that circle. She's now part of this circle.
Yeah.
That just got bigger because of your willingness to love. That low-hanging fruit doesn't necessarily have to look like you. Each of us has a power. Each of us has a power. And you may be the one to run interference. You may be that one. Listen to what I'm saying. You may be that one. Regardless of what the issue is that's like up right now. It may be you. This is the for such a time as this. You know, that's from the Bible. It's from the book of Esther. The cliff notes to the story is that Esther's uncle Mordecai, they were Hebrew, set her up so that she could become one of the brides of the royal family. And when it was coming down that word was out that some stuff was going to start happening to the Jews, he told her to come out the closet. She's married to the king. Talk to him. Tell him you're a Jew. Yes, it may be sticking your neck on the line, but who knows? Maybe to have access for his ear at this exact moment, maybe all of it was just for such a time as this. This way where everything all comes together and converges in some strange kind of way, where you have just that power, just that influence, just that little bitty something, that ear where you can speak up, say, like for such a time as this. Yes. Thank you, Nate, for sharing that.
Yes.
Thank you. So how is this resonating with people? Other people on Zoom? Or phone? Is that a day?
Yes, it is. We've talked about for such a time. Oh, wait a minute.
Got some, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It goes on now. For such a time as this, as you were talking, it just had a reframe in my mind, because I've been really focusing more on what's going on globally and nationally. But as you were sharing the story now, I just looked at it like, if I looked at things that I call a challenge in my life as well, and say for such a time as this, that what is happening now is perfect. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing to be. There's a divine design. It just kind of shifted my thought about some things that I'm walking through right now. So thank you for repeating that.
Yes. Yeah. You know, the answer's in the problem. My mentor, Dr. Will Coleman, always says that the answer's in the problem. The answer is in the problem. So you say, for example, you know, the circumstance that's been happening here in Santa Cruz that we've been talking about, and the families, you know, with us, and I want to acknowledge the family, you know, in the room of Luke Smith, and a young man who was fatally shot by the sheriff's department. And you know, the whole law and order thing of the right during the campaign was making me crazy. This beyond nuts, right? Well, as it turns out, the residence and the high school that this young man was at is one of the most conservative areas in all the county. And it happens to be the area I've lived in for the past 26 years. A lot of privilege, a lot of entitlement. There's an area called Aptos. And there had been a meeting at Aptos High about this. And when I looked in the room, I thought to myself, wow, I've never seen such unification between people who I know are very conservative up here and very liberal. And I thought, what the irony. We might actually get some change because these rich, entitled law and order people are not going to sit around and let this go down. Answers in the problem. That's why you can't, it's like you can't judge. And people who otherwise I might not have ever considered to be allies might be actually the ones to help get some real change about policing that might not have ever happened if it was just another black man that died in the streets. You never know. Are you with me? It's like you never know. That's why you don't other, you don't get into the divisiveness. For such a time as this, the right people, the right configurations and everything. And if you stay on your vision and your purpose and don't other, you will find some strange bedfellows, like Van Jones and Newt Gingrich, who were teamed up around Cut 50, reducing the prison population by 50%. Okay? That's a center around prison reform that has what looks like extreme right and extreme left working together. Because it's not about right or left, it's about vision. And if you get beyond the othering and just put forth your vision, you have no idea who's going to resonate with that. And I guarantee you, if there's ever going to be any real change, it has to include a broad enough spectrum of people in order to make it change. It's pure physics. It's pure aerodynamics. The left wing can't go anywhere without the right. The right wing can't fly without the left. Same wing, same structure, curved in opposite directions, but that's purposeful. It's purposeful, just like the symmetry in your body is purposeful. So don't get stuck that everybody's not on your side. The left hand and the right hand, they may be doing different things, but they're part of one body. And if you see yourself as part of one body with a left side and a right side, and stop being mad that the other side isn't your side, then you'll find that there's much that can be done. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Questions or comments about this? In the back. Give us your name and you got to speak up.
Okay. I'm Vic, and last week I told you about my sister and calling Obama racist. You said stay off Facebook. Basically, is the way I interpreted it.
I did say.
And I realized she posted something else about a group of young women in a dorm crying over the election and saying, what kind of parents could these girls have had to have them behave in such a way? And so I picked up the phone. It was just automatic. And I called and I said, hey, Janet, I saw your post, and I just want you to know that I love you. And I don't want to lose you. And whereas you're celebrating me from our same mother and crying right along with those girls. And is that okay? She said, you're not going to lose me.
Good. Good. This is what it's going to take.
I'm Callie. And last week you gave us an assignment and you asked us to explore our unexamined assumptions. And I did. I did around for such a time as this. And the most glaring one that I came up with was not everybody wants the same vision that I have for this world. Not everyone is ready, or each of us may see something different and call it their own vision. We may not all want the same things. Oh, man, that set me reeling.
Good.
Yeah.
That is really, 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 really important.
Yes.
Okay? Because when we don't realize that, we get into ethnocentrism, where we are busy projecting. And that's part of the reason the election turned out the way that it did. Because there was just a complete underestimating how divergent we are in this nation about what we see and what we want. See, now the people on the right were acutely aware that their vision was different than the people on the left. But the people on the left were too smug in all of their sense of change and progress and dismissiveness of anybody else, that they made everybody on the right invisible, projecting that, of course, everybody thinks like I do. See? So we weren't listening. It caught too many people with their pants down. This is why for months, not knowing how the election was going to turn out, but for months, and I invite everybody to look at the archives, because I really systemically break down how we got here. From the beginning days, like of the nation, just systemically, what is this that's keeping all of this stuff like together like this? And until we wake up and smell the coffee and locate ourselves in it, but realize that our position is not the norm, right? We're never going to get anywhere, because we have made the mistake in this idea about the oneness of thinking that oneness means uniformity. Oneness does not mean uniformity. Oneness means a harmony. That's what it means. It means a unity of divergent things that can all come together. Like music, like a chord. A chord. It's not the same notes, it's different notes, but they're coming into a certain kind of an alignment. See? And until we wake up and smell the coffee and be willing to listen. Be willing to listen. I find it so interesting that the conservatives really grasp more than the so-called liberals or progressives, the liberal and the progressive agenda. They could tell you, and they understand its impact in its totality. They understand why they have to be anti-gay, anti-abortion, anti-immigration, they understand why they have to be all these things simultaneously. And there's no question about it. They get it. Whereas on the progressive side, they're just trying to figure out, what do these things even have to do with each other? So there's no sense of it being a platform or a particular way of being. So not only do they not know their own, they don't know the other ones either. Walking around in this kind of la 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 in their own little silos. Oh, well, you know, I'm an environmentalist. Okay, you know. Well, I do immigration. Oh, okay. You know, and I do, you know, I'm feeding the whales, you know, I'm saving the whales. Okay, you know. Well, I'm feeding the children. Like, okay, with no sense of a vision of how all of that comes together, and not only the vision of how all that comes together, but how, if all of that comes together, it is going to completely disrupt other people's lives. And assuming the responsibility for that, to then be able to negotiate the transition and the transformation that needs to happen. That's why the left isn't trusted. The left's not trusted with all the change that it wants to make, because it's blind. They feel like it's like a bull in a china closet, or like a kid that's running wild with all this power that isn't assuming responsibility for all of the detriment, for all of the dissolution of the status quo that it's doing. See? Now, if we can stand forth and be honest about it, to be honest about it. The feminist movement, we were honest about it. And the Black movement, we were honest about it. King's I Have a Dream speech. Heretical. Even just the little Black kids, little white kids. That was heresy. It was like, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Not only is my kid, but your kid ain't going to be no better than my kid anymore. And we're going to have to work this out. But a vision that includes. So when I talk to you now about vision, I'm not just talking about a vision of your agenda and what your agenda would look like if you got it. But what is your vision that's big enough to include even the people whose lives you are disrupting? This was a mistake that the LGBT community was making on marriage equality. Like, well, what difference does it make to them? You are completely changing their whole definition of family as the cornerstone of all society and civilization. Are you kidding me? This is a huge change. You're going into their neighborhood. The sacred of the sacred, you know, like marriage. And if you can't recognize that, why should they trust you with the keys? Why should they trust you in the neighborhood? It's like, there goes the neighborhood. These people coming in and crapping all in the neighborhood and don't even realize that it's sacred or what this neighborhood means to me. And I'm not saying whether it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's a political tactic. It wasn't until the gay community started talking about family values. It wasn't until they start talking about their marriages and their children and basically showing, hey, we're not trying to overthrow this thing. The conservatives are too silly to realize they won. They got the whole gay community talking about family values and getting married. Who'd have thunk it that the gay liberation movement would turn in to the Volvo and the picket fence and the 2.2 kids? Who the hell knew? But the tide didn't turn until there was a working with the very people whose lives you were about to disrupt. Didn't happen till then. Can you deal with your own pain? Come up with a vision that's big enough. Breathe. Y'all ain't breathing on me here. Breathe. Okay, so we're going to be honest for a moment. What does this bring up for you? Let's be honest. I want to hear from some of the people that haven't been talking. In this very moment, how do you feel? What comes up for you? Let's name the angst. Let's, you know, like the energy, the resistance, like whatever that is. Let's just name it. Okay, so we can move through it. Give us your name. Can you speak up a little bit louder?
Rana, what it brings up for me is like the belief in death. It's like, who am I if I come out of where this sense of separateness has been hiding and open up
yes.
to the mystery?
Yes.
It's all unknown.
Yes.
And it's so exciting. This is the most exciting I've ever been in my whole life.
Yes.
It's like to have the help of so many years of practice and whatever, but to have the help now, you know, of saying, hey, you're surrounded by this. That's why I'm showing up here. It's like, I want that fed. I want that seeds nurtured. You know, I want that fire.
Yes. Yes. The oneness takes you into the mystery and you lose that little sense that you had of yourself. So your little ego self is, where does this leave me? Where does this leave me? But it will lead you to extraordinary possibilities.
Yeah.
I'm hearing the spirit voice in my head now. One of the quotes from the Sacred Yes, you know, those downloads that I get. When I was complaining about this very thing, and Spirit said, just open up to the possibility. It says, in your willingness to be anything, you can be everything, even if it wasn't the something you thought you wanted to be. In your willingness to be anything, you can be everything, even if it wasn't the something you thought you wanted to be. Is that deep?
There's a couple people.
Yes.
So Shiva says, having something we all agree we oppose can be a uniting force. And
that's pain pushing.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Ginny says, for me, it's hard to know that all the beautiful vision we are sharing during the election process, it's as if it was trampled over by a bully or bullies.
Get off the triangle. And I say that in love. Get off the triangle. It's all consciousness. If you have a vision that can be trampled on, it's not a vision. If you have a vision that can be trampled on, it's a wish list. It is a hope. It is a desire. If you are a slave and you have a vision of freedom, there aren't enough whips from the master who can take that vision away from you. If it's a real vision, it's just the opposite. If it's a real vision, the more that it's desecrated, the higher you go with it. That's a vision. But if somebody else and what they're doing can make you stop believing in your vision, it ain't a vision. No, baby. Nope. Remember what I said? It's when no is not an answer. This is when you realize, oh, this is a good thing. Because this is the stuff we got to get rid of so my vision can happen. This is, thank you, God, this crap is up. Because now, should I say that?
Yes, yeah, please. I'll be bound for it. Say it, please. Be real.
Now the hoods are on.
Yes, Lord. Thank you. The soup is on. I was thinking
the hoods are
that
off
true.
now.
Amen.
So we don't have to guess
Amen. Good.
who's burning the cross
Amen.
on the lawn.
Yes.
We know.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We know now.
Thank you, Rev Deborah.
So we can organize and do what needs to be done. When it's insidious and it's all behind closed doors and in the closets and in the smoky rooms, you can't get to it. So I thank God it's out in the open. Because now we can do something about it. And we can wake up from this hypnotic trance that it doesn't exist. I don't hear anybody talking about post-racist America since we elected Obama.
It's true. That's true.
Nobody's talking about this is post-racist. Now it's like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. Just take a breath. Now we know. And this is a good thing, is what I'm saying. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing for the world.
It's a good thing. Listen, take it out of the political arena and take it into your own personal life. What needs to be healed is revealed. So if the stuff comes up in your family, you want a whole healthy family, and then you find out about some divisiveness or crap, you need to know that so it can be healed. You don't go, oh God, there they are messing up the Christmas stuff or whatnot. We were trying to get into oneness. It's like, oh, I'm so glad to see that Johnny's in pain. I didn't know. I didn't know Martha's marriage was on the rocks. Oh, now I know. Now we can do something. These people that everybody's mad at, they are in pain. They are hurting. They are in pain. Can you hear the pain? That same Imam, Michael Salam, he said, when babies are born, they all speak the same language. That's all they speak. He says, and you know, this one means I'm wet. This one means feed me. This one's I'm sleepy. This one's hold me. We figure it out without even any words. And then he said, and when did you stop hearing my cry? When did we stop hearing the cry? Don't do to the Republicans what people do to black people all the time. They just see our rioting, they just see our rage, and they dismiss what we're rioting about and just cast us off as a bunch of angry people. This was a riot. And we need to have the compassion to find out what the riot is about. Breathe. Breathe again. Don't scapegoat Trump. Don't scapegoat anybody. This has got, it doesn't have anything more to do with Trump than it had to do with Bernie. Bernie just articulated something. It wasn't created because of him. It was already there. It was already there. And wanting to scapegoat him is just more of that denial of not wanting to take a look at it. And last but not least with this piece here now, I said it yesterday and I'm going to say it again. That our biggest issue that we have to tackle is one of supremacy. That humanity has supremacy over the whole planet and all the species, that certain races in humanity have supremacy over other races, that men have supremacy over women, that straight people got supremacy over gay people, and Christians got supremacy over non-Christians, and Americans got supremacy over the whole globe, and on and on and on. Or the people who are documented are supreme over the people who are not documented, and people who are out or superior to people who are incarcerated. It's got to stop. And my topic yesterday was, what if I don't want to be one with them? The theme is oneness, but the topic is, what if I don't want to be one with them? And I said, if you keep saying that, then you're being supremacist. Because underneath it all you're really saying is, I'm too good to be one of them. I am too good for them to be considered one with me. That's what you're saying. And it doesn't matter who's saying it about what. It's that construct that's got to go. I'm too good for these conservatives. I'm too good for these relatives. I'm too good for this one. We're here in the West, and we're too good for the people in the South. And, we're New Thought. We're too good for the evangelical. Just get over it. It's not helping. Right? So bust yourself on your own inconsistency, because that's not oneness. It's not. We can do this work, we can do it, but we cannot do it with the same consciousness that created it. You cannot solve a problem with the same otherness that created it. You can't do it. So I am glad to have you on this ride with me. Because a ride it is. I want to make sure before we get off, though, that we have a list of the people who are on. Can you do a shout out and find out their names?
Yes. So yeah, if you're on the telephone, I'm gonna unmute everyone. See how that goes.
Might be a lot of noise. Call out phone numbers.
So I have 510-394.
That's Lakeisha.
That's Lakeisha. 310-795-8947. Can you tell us who you are?
That's me. Did you want to know who this is?
Yes.
Oh, hi. It's Marcia Straubing from.
Oh, hi, Marcia.
Okay. We have your email address?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I have a day, and then I have someone at 562-400-2262.
That's me. It's Rocky from Long Beach.
Srirachi?
Rocky.
Oh, Rocky.
Do we have your email?
I believe so. It's JimMama562.
Have you been getting emails about this class?
I have not, but I have been in contact with somebody from maybe the third class. They sent me some information, and that was the only information I got.
Okay. If you have anybody on the phone that has not been receiving emails about this class, can you email me, Leah, L-E-A, at innerlightministries.com? That way I'll have your email and get you on the list. Leah, L-E-A, at innerlightministries.com.
Okay.
And who's at 338-6618? 831-338.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was on mute. This is Miles.
Miles?
Yeah.
Okay. Long time no see.
And I'm also logged in as Shiva. I mean, the phone is separate from the.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I typed Miles, but for some reason didn't take it. So.
Okay, cool.
Technology makes your life easier.
Where are you from?
He's in.
I'm in Boulder Creek.
Yeah.
Oh, Boulder Creek. Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, you know me. I'm the piano player.
Oh, the piano player, Miles. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, good. So if you're on, if you called in, make sure that you give us your email address. And there was a sheet that was going around here. Okay, I want to make sure that everybody here, because we send you links, we send you the information, and please keep passing this information on to other people. The YouTube is under my name, For Such a Time as This. Have we been posting the newer one?
I think Esperanza has. It's tinyurl.com. No. It's at YouTube. It's Rev D, For Such a Time as This.
Yeah.
Muna has her hand up.
I have a question, Rev D. The recording of this session, since it contains like a private sharing and stories, and there are faces shown, Is it okay if I share the video recording of these sessions on social media?
Yeah, they're on YouTube. That's what we're saying.
So it's fine with everyone who's sharing within this, that like we can post it and like
yes.
share.
If you're in here, you've agreed to be part of this divine experiment so that your life and your stories be inspiration and encouragement to other people to be as brave as you are.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Rafe says there's no hiding.
All right. And I want to thank everybody for the donations. Some of you have been can you tell them how to do it like online, what they're doing, Facebook, the PayPal? Or?
Yes, you could go to the well, it would be Interlink.
Whatever you've been telling people.
Yeah. So actually you can PayPal to Rev D, and her PayPal address is revd@deborahjohnson.org. So you can send donations to Reverend Deborah through PayPal, revd@deborahjohnson.org. Thank you.
To the Light Ministries website.
So we're going to do our theme song out, which is I give myself permission.
Yep.
I give myself permission to be all I can be. I give myself permission to live passionate and brave. This is a good sized group today. I'm really, really pleased. I give myself permission to be all I can be. Myself passionate and free. I give myself permission to be all I can be. I give myself permission to live passionate and free. And